lived down there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And Jenny and Bert lived above you.
That's right. That's right. And she's the one who had a sister named Emma Faye that was named after Grandma. Because Emma was Grandma's name.
Yeah, Emma's my middle name.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Well, we just learn all kinds of things.
Now, where did the name Carmita come from?
Mother made it up.
Really? Because I have met one other Carmita in my life. So I'm wondering if she knew you.
I can't think of the people that used to be a preacher at the Nazarene church there. They had sons. David was his first name.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But anyhow, he had a child and they always said he was going to name it Carmita.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
What
Isn't
a
that
says-
terrible? I can't remember the person's last name. Your
Isn't
mother's
that-
getting old.
Yeah. David had a son named David. There was a Richie, David Ritchie there.
No,
Wow.
it wasn't Richie's.
Huh. I don't know.
They moved to Marshall.
Huh.
That is terrible.
Now, how would you describe, both of you, describe your houses, what you remember about your house in Pennsylvania?
It needed help.
It needed help.
It was like 2 rooms and a path.
Okay,
Do
okay.
you remember we used to use everybody's bathroom? Like if you were out playing, if I was playing in your yard, I'd just go and use your outhouse.
Yes.
If you walked by my house and you had to go to the bathroom, you just went up and used your outhouse.
But you had outhouses. You didn't
Yeah,
have
you
indoor
still
plumbing.
had
Yes, there's no indoor plumbing on
And
my
that's
hill.
where I put your Uncle Ford's thing is where I put the puppies in the. I dumped puppies.
What?
I put them in the hole.
What?
I did.
Why did you do that?
I don't know, but I remember my dad had to dig them out. But it was Uncle Ford's outhouse. I don't know why. He had 2-holer.
Yes, I think he did.
Yeah, he had a 2-holer. We didn't have a 2-holer, so that's probably why I
That's
put
what
them.
fascinated you.
You can put it
I put one there,
one
one
at a time.
and I guess Martha went and told. She was a tattletale.
Oh, dear.
She probably went and told, and then my dad had to dig them out. Those pups, I remember they were black pups, and they were like what do you call those? Cocker spaniels.
Were they your puppies?
No, they weren't mine. They were probably somebody else's. I remember doing that.
You have killed a lot of animals in your lifetime.
You want to get rid of an animal, give it to Wilma.
Yeah. And there was a person, remember, right next to Uncle Ford, there was a lady that would always sit outside on, like,
On a nice porch. They had a nice house.
yes, but she'd sit out there and she'd rub snuff or something. She'd spit in
That's so
Yeah.
gross.
but they had a nice house.
Yeah, that was a nice house. That probably was the nicest house on the hill, really.
Yeah, I bet so
And we
too.
walked past it to go down to that store down at the corner.
Yes, that, oh my goodness.
And wasn't the church up not too far from that?
Then you went up in town and turned there, because there was a beer garden, seemed like on every corner
Yeah.
in there. It was because of the miners. The miners all stopped at the beer gardens.
Well, I would too if I had to go down in a coal mine.
No, you just
My goodness.
wanted to drown.
That's why
it out.
Nemacolin, before you get into that, there's the beer garden.
Yeah.
Right before you go
Well,
down the hill.
And that's why my mom's dad would work night, and he would stop at the pub there, the beer garden, and then he wouldn't come home. And she said she'd have to, or if he'd start home, he would be laying, because the path went up the hill
Mm.
to the house, and she'd have to go get him, and then put him to bed. And he'd beat her with the pit belt. That was, she said, I remember lots of whippings with the pit belt.
This is your mom?
My mom. No,
And
my
her
mom would have to
dad.
go get him.
Oh.
Pap wouldn't come home, and so she'd have to, and she had 5 older brothers,
But they wouldn't.
but they were working in the mines, or they were all working in the mines too, I guess.
They
But
probably
she
were.
was responsible for Pap, to get Pap home. And he'd always stop and drink their money, he'd drink the money up.
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
And that was,
that.
the beer garden owner was the richest in town.
sure.
Because all the miners would go there, they'd come
Yes.
out, and now people go and eat breakfast. See, then they just go by the beer garden.
Hmm.
Yeah, she said many a time I'd find Pap just stone drunk on the path. He didn't make it home. have to get him up and take his boots, get him all undone with that coal. It's terrible what she had to do as a little girl. She was and she was a little girl. It's awful. Pap, and they always everybody was called Pap. Yeah, even when we went back to visit, we visit with one of Elaine's boys, Skip, and all his grandkids called him Pap. I thought that was funny.
That's neat, yeah.
That was the name.
Now, I always hear about Tub, or
Uncle Tub.
who was he?
That's your relative.
That was your relative.
That was my mother's brother that was next to her.
Okay.
And she's the one that my grandma, Uncle Tub told me this when I was there. He said she'd take a rope and she'd tie Irene to me in the morning. And I had to watch her while she did her work and everything. But he said she would tie the baby to me. And I had to watch the baby by being, wherever I went, she went.
Where the baby went.
Yeah, yeah. He said she put that loop through my through my loops and tie her. You imagine that? Maybe that's why they were so close. That's the one she was closest
They
to.
have to be close.
Yeah,
Have to be
Goodness,
close.
they did like each
yeah.
other.
She was closest to Tub, and he had 8 kids, and they were all cross-eyed. Do you remember any of that? They were all cross-eyed. All of them. I remember that. And Aunt Helen was cross-eyed. You didn't know who you were looking at.
Who to look at? Which eye to look at?
You don't know what eye to look at.
Oh dear.
And Uncle Tub always had, oh girl, my mother would die about this. He never had buttons on his shirt. He had safety pins.
Oh.
He'd safety pin his shirts.
Oh.
And he was a big man. But he worked in the coal mine. See, they all worked.
They all
lived in the union housing, and the union housing was two apartments put together. I mean,
Just like
they
them
had a
calling
rail.
it.
Yeah, I saw a TV show that had that. Well, this was the days. I mean,
I haven't
the
seen
front of that. One time they showed it.
Oh,
it just looked like that.
All in the Family? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know, but it was the front of the house. When they showed the front where they was walking the steps, I thought, and there was just a railing. That was your neighbors, and this was your, and Grandpa would fight anybody that wasn't a Democrat. He'd get up. If you said one thing about John L. Lewis, I mean, I've seen him stand up. Fight you. He'd fight anybody. They'd fight. I mean, they would fight.
That's funny.
It's crazy.
Now, you're an only child, aren't you, Carmita?
Yeah.
And Gary's an only child.
Yes.
But
I prayed for twins, but I didn't get it.
you got too much in one.
And the Lord knew all I could handle. But him's good overall.
But how many siblings did your mother have?
She had Ford,
Harry,
that part, and then there was.
And that was
Earl,
all from
Emma.
Emma. Okay.
And then Reuben had our grandpa had other kids.
There was Fern, Earl.
Let's see, I don't know those people. I met Fern one time, I think. Fern and Earl. I don't remember.
Well, that's all on that way, I think. I don't think there was any more.
Okay.
It's crazy. Susan's doing our
Genealogy, that's what I was telling
That's
her.
great. That's good. That's what I was telling her. Too bad she can't get a hold of Ford Campbell. But
Mhm.
he's moving.
He's moving also. That's
Because
where
the
we're going
gas.
to go visit.
Well, you're not going to visit him this spring because he's moved. The gas company's bought his land.
He's had the best thing with his land. That's the second or third time he's built. Because last time,
when I say near the mountains and near the West Virginia mountains, that's all he said.
oh,
But the
my.
phone number, everything's.
Everything's changed. Maybe he'll write me a note.
I hope he does.
Yeah, because I wrote him a letter and said I was coming and love to visit with him.
You scared him away.
He's like, I gotta move. She's coming.
He also told me Patty. You remember Patty?
Yeah.
She passed away. But she had Alzheimer's real bad.
Oh, she did. Oh, and we were there. It was terrible to visit with her.
She passed away.
She was out of it. She was high on something, or she was sick. Or, I mean, it was bad. Patty.
And you know, the horrible thing I can remember about Patty Bush is at it wasn't Uncle Ford's, Mark Allen's funeral, she had this humongous hat on, and it kept falling her down in her eyes.
Oh no.
Oh,
I wanted to rip that hat
Oh.
off that girl's head.
what I remember how Aunt Elaine used to punish, she would put rice on the floor and they would kneel.
Have to
in the
kneel
rice.
on
And
it.
Patty would scream and cry.
Oh.
And Patty was always in trouble. Patty and Becky, there was a Becky.
Yeah, Becky, yeah.
Yeah, Becky lives in Ohio is all I know. But they were always in trouble, and she would put that rice on the floor. Oh, I thought that was so cruel. I'd have rather taken a belting than
Yes,
anything.
yes. Go ahead and get the punishment done
Yeah.
with.
Oh,
That's
she would.
so mean.
Just imagine.
Hmm.
Maybe that's why Patty. You know, she had a daughter that married a singer or something in Las Vegas. Because Skip was telling me about he'd go out there and she had a lingerie store. This daughter.
I can't think of her daughter's name. I
Yeah.
used to know, but
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think what her name was. Patty. Was Patty? She married that. I guess they divorced or something. Whoever she was married to, but this daughter ended up in Las Vegas with. She married some big singer or something. I don't know. So Skip was telling Cecil all about. Cecil knew all about it. Oh, he loved Cecil. Skip and Cecil, when they met each other, was like brothers.
oh my goodness.
He took Cecil. He called him Cecil, I'm gonna take you here and take you there. You know? Yeah. He took him down to the mines. He did it. Oh yeah, he just loved Cecil. And they talked all the time. Skip was a talker.
Yes, Skip was a talker.
Yeah. So those kids had a hard life.
Yes, they did.
I remember him telling me, you know, we lived in all this awful housing, and Skip and Aunt Elaine got into the projects,
Yes.
and he said, you know, everybody thought if you lived in the projects, it was he said that's the best house we ever lived. We had a bathroom.
Oh.
That was his biggest thing. We had a bathroom.
Bathroom, yes.
Yeah, lived in the projects. He said I liked living in the projects. We had a bathroom.
That's bad if going to the projects is moving up
Moving
in the
up.
world.
Yeah, that's moving up. That's exactly what they were. And that was moving up.
Yes, it was.
That was moving up.
Yes.
Because we had outhouses. Think about that. We didn't have bathrooms. We took a
You
bath
took a
in
bath
the.
at number 3 towel
Yes.
at all times.
Really?
Well, yeah, every Saturday
With a
night.
sink.
Or the
Oh,
And
yeah.
Aunt Mary, she had this great big sink in her kitchen.
Yeah.
I'd had many a bath in there.
But-
So you had indoor plumbing for like the sink, but not for bathrooms.
and it was
Now
like
my
a
Aunt
pump.
Mary was good. Down in the basement, she had a toilet.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I thought that was the most marvelous thing. You just went down them steps.
You could use the toilet.
But the water, like the sink had a pump, like an outdoor pump, and you
Oh.
pumped the water
Okay.
into the. Remember that?
You had to prime the pump.
You had to
Sometimes they
prime
get
the
that
pump
thick
in your
on.
house.
So basically, you guys lived on Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah. It was terrible.
Okay, so what's the best memory about Pennsylvania, though? We've talked about the bad housing and stuff. What's something happy you think about?
Well,
Silence.
church was always our big thing. Church,
Okay.
like when we found the church, it's changed our lives so that I love to go to church. I love to sit because we only had three books to a pew, so you had to share.
Mm.
Yeah.
The one in the middle hold the back book, and the other two had to squeeze in on you. That's why I know all the songs to the hymns, because I got tired of being squeezed. and holding
No,
the
so
book.
you just learned
I thought
them.
I was gonna memorize them. But really, that was we loved to go to church. I mean, that changed our lives completely.
I remember going to the Methodist church.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, we had one thing my folks would. This is crazy that I didn't realize what was happening. But my dad would come home from work, and he'd say, "Let's go swimming." and we'd go down to the Monongahela or the one down by Rice's Landing. Is that Yakagina? I don't know which one that is. We'd go down there, and we'd all go swimming in that river, and my dad always took a cake of soap.
Didn't realize you're getting a bath.
You're
got a
getting
bath.
Yeah.
That's how we took our baths. I never knew.
He's smart.
And I never knew that. I thought,
That you were taking a bath.
yeah, and my dad washed all that cold dirt off of him. And he loved us. And my mom and dad were great swimmers and skiers. Skaters.
Really?
Yes, they could
They would
both
skate
swim, and they skated on that ice in that pond down there at Carmichael's. Under that bridge. It was a
I knew
draw.
they liked to swim because they did that out of Lake Merville. So
Oh yeah, they swam.
Huh.
They were good swimmers. Yeah.
How
But
fun.
that was our bath, and I didn't realize that. And the ferry would be like it's where the ferry. There was a ferry. that
You were
went
in the
across.
wake of the
We'd
ferry.
go, and those cables would come up. They'd scare you to death. But we'd be over there swimming, taking a bath. We didn't know any better.
Did you swim naked or in clothes?
No, I guess we had clothes on. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know. I just remember he always took a bar of soap. And I thought, was he washing the fish? It made no sense to me.
No.
But now it does when
Now
I
it
think
does when
about
you
it.
do it.
See?
Yes,
You were
it
bathing.
does.
Yeah, and I wonder how many more people did that.
Yeah.
Gobs of them.
Yeah. Because we didn't have running water. We called our water in, he got those big garbage cans, silver, and he
Mhm.
would he would go and get water in those silver cans, and that was our water.
Well, I remember the rain barrel at Uncle Ford's house.
Oh, yes.
You
and
know,
we'd
Mother
catch-
had to stay there and watch all those kids
Yes.
when Annie Lane was.
Yes, having babies.
Yeah, Mark Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, my, that was 3 in a year. She had 3 kids in 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And she already had
yeah.
5 before that, and you realize 4 of her children died.
Yeah, I remember Buck the most.
Yes, see, he was my
Because he
age.
was there. I remember him.
Yeah, and he died of
Cancer.
cancer. Huh?
As a child?
He's
Yeah.
13 or 14.
I was going to say he was the early
I played the
teens.
piano at his
Wow.
funeral too. Well, I've just done this funeral stuff. Yeah. They took him to the house. Remember? I was wondering where that house was because it was on a curve, and I guess his grandparents lived there, and they had a grandfather's clock, and I just learned that his grandfather's clock was too so la la la.
For the
so
shelf,
yeah.
so it stood
No,
30 years on the floor.
Yeah. And they had that whenever we went in there, but they had his body there.
Oh wow.
I don't know, but he was very young, and she had already lost the 8-year-old before she married Uncle Ford. She had a girl, I forget her name, but she died of dropsy. I never did know what that was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then she lost Mark Allen, and she lost
I
Larry.
remember that. Donald Laird, yes.
Uh-huh.
Donald Laird died
Well,
of cancer, too.
Yes, and the
And he was young?
yeah 26.
Yeah, he was young.
He was a seaboat. He was a captain on
On the river
what do you
boat
call
captain.
that? He tugboat.
Huh.
Towboat, yeah.
Yeah, on that river where
Wow.
down at Rice's Landing.
Yeah.
And that's what his grandfather did.
He was killed in a car wreck?
And Mark was
How
killed
old
in a
was
car
he?
accident. He was 17 or 18.
He was
wasn't
young, yeah, because Ford gave him his senior ring. It was when he went him in the casket.
Oh.
I remember that.
he? Isn't that
He
something?
must have been a senior because Ford gave him that ring.
Oh,
I remember that.
and Ford's the oldest boy
Okay.
of the 3, and him and his wife never had any children. So that's the end of the Campbell.
That's gonna be into that line. I
Yes.
thought
Oh,
Van Allen
wow.
was the person that could have carried on
yeah,
the Campbell line, but Ford
he's the last one.
yeah,
And when Gary goes, that's the end of that line.
that's the end of the actor.
Huh.
Mhm.
Wow.
And
Did
when
you know
Mother
that?
goes, that'll be the end of hers.
Oh, Campbell's, yeah.
Wow.
Do you know that I bought that Cadillac? I bought Bonnie's Cadillac.
Yes.
I tell you, Vincent drove that Cadillac all
Mhm.
through high school, all through college.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in Oklahoma now because he gave it as a gift to his
His friend
roommate
gave us a
who
wedding
got married.
gift.
Gave us a wedding gift.
Yeah.
We drove that car. I loved that car. Every time I get in, I thought of Bonnie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people die, you miss, but I really miss that Bonnie.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know, because we
Yeah.
didn't see each other every day,
Yeah.
but there's just something about her.
Now, where is her daughter?
She's in Longview.
Somewhere.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, she works at the Walmart by Sam.
Now, she had a child.
She had 2 kids. She had Patrick, and he died at 20. Brain aneurysm.
Wow.
That's why I wear that bracelet.
Interesting.
I see.
Oh.
And then she had a daughter, and she lives in Oklahoma with her 2 daughters and her husband.
Wow.
My great nieces.
That'd be, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Well, history.
Yes, it's fascinating.
It is.
Gary has a lot of relatives on that side, huh? Like on his dad's side, no? Because that's Bonnie's on that side.
Bonnie's on that side. He has
What's the other sister?
Mary Lynn, and she lives in Tyler.
Oh,
She had 3 kids. See, we're kind of easy.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
see, he
how-
really only has 2 aunts left. My Aunt Sis, Dad's stepsister,
Yeah,
and then Mary Lynn.
Mary Lynn, yeah. How old was Robert when he died? How old was your dad when he died?
How old was your dad when he died, Carrie? When did he die?
You remember that?
2003, so. I had
2003.
2003.
How old was I in 2003? It's this 2018 now. I'm 71.
Yeah. Was he older than you?
No, we were there only a month and 13 days apart.
Oh, so 3 from 17 is 4. Yeah. I don't know. how to do
50s. When you being in the
Wow.
50s.
Wow. He's young. Very young.
Had ALS.
Wow.
Somebody. He died of ALS.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Oh.
I mean, I wanted the man to suffer. You know, break his leg or something, but I wouldn't have wished that on him.
No.
Oh, I know. It's awful, isn't it?
Because everything goes
Except
your
the brain. Was it quick or was it a long
It was
process?
pretty long.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Because some people were thinking he was getting drunk and going to work.
Oh, that's right.
But
Slurring his
He was
words.
slurring. Oh.
That's
He
exactly.
was tricked into going to the doctor.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's one thing she did right.
Yeah, she did do that
Mhm.
right.
His lady. He had a lady.
Yes,
Yeah. So she took him to the doctor.
she did do
Said
that.
needed somebody to drive her, and the appointment was for him.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Oh, that's
That was the
funny.
only way he was going to get there, too.
Yeah, that's because he needed
He
doctor.
thought he was just healthy, huh?
Mhm. He wouldn't admit anything was wrong.
Oh.
Wow.
That's where I get that from.
So you're the same.
Yeah.
And they don't know how even Robert got the ALS. They said it must have been a rogue gene.
Hmm.
Somebody else from Burtonville that got it, too.
Yeah,
Oh, really? I wonder what causes
2 or
it.
3.
I don't.
They don't know.
They really don't know.
Mm-mm.
2 or 3, about
Yeah,
the same age.
It's like Alzheimer's, you know.
Mhm.
No.
No, just take me out. I hope I don't get that.
Yeah. Oh, that-
Because when Mother had that brain problem, that
Mhm.
seizure,
oh, I know.
and she knew me, but she couldn't communicate really. You know, I said I can't stand this.
That's
Yeah.
My
scary.
mother died that night to me.
Yeah.
I was prepared myself. And the next day they tell you she's talking. She's
Yeah.
talking.
Wow.
Then 3 and a
Wow.
half hours will do that to you.
Hi,
Mhm.
how are you?
I'm good. How
I
about
wondered if you was ever coming back.